2, 3. So I went for my annual physical for the bicycle to my favorite place where I bought the bike in 2017. This is Befold. It's in the East Village in Manhattan. If you go by, I took a short video there. If you go by there now, this is what it looks like. This is the door. It's like the lower level in a standard old brick building, typical East Village. There's no storefront, and to my knowledge, there isn't even a website anymore, or if there is one, it's going to be taken down. So at this point, this shop, which is the best bike shop in Manhattan, is really only for those who are already known clients or people who are recommended by existing clients. So I do recommend the experience and this approach. What most people do these days is they go for like the Brompton Junction or some main store, and what they have is they have a beautiful showroom. They have a ton of bikes, but only Brompton. Or if you go to another modern bike shop, maybe they have a Birdie or a few things, but they don't have what's the most important. And what's the most important is the service that you get if they know you, if you bought the bike from them. I actually bought my nickel-plated Brompton at a 10% discount. So even though this is a small dealership, they don't store anything. You typically have to wait for the bike to be delivered, but they can get you anything. They customize it, they configure it and tune it right there. So I got a 10% discount when I bought my bike. I go back there every time I get a fair deal. I never get ripped off. I've never been ripped off. With the big fancy stores like this kind of a Brompton Junction style, really nice store, they actually ruined my Birdie frame. They scratched it up because what they do is all they care about is to make the sale ASAP. You walk into the store, they have a zillion bikes in stock. They want you to, swap out the credit card and pay. And once they are done with you, if you have any problem, you want to come back, it's going to be some illegal immigrant working in the back for $10-15 an hour who's going to scratch up your frame. He doesn't even know what he's doing. They don't care about tuning it. They don't install third-party parts. So to me, it's a downgraded experience. I certainly would not have been able to do all the tuning I have done on my frame if I had to deal with a prefab bike shop like this. And to my knowledge, Brompton is now being sold by big chains. I wouldn't be surprised if you saw it at Macy's, really. This is the next Dayhan for sure. So the way to contact this guy is just to go by what you find on Google. This is the phone number. I don't know if the website is still on. I'm not even going to try to open it. He's open 5 days a week. That's not bad. But consider this, during the lockdown, because I bought my bike from him, he even met me in the city outside of the store, because you were not allowed to operate a store during the lockdown. So we actually met in front of the Javits Center because I was out riding on the West Side Greenway, and I paid in cash and we did the transaction right there. So this is definitely not something you're going to get from the big typical stores such as the Junction and others. So let us look at the damage. What did I have done? I had a new shifter installed because I broke the previous one. If you go to the Brompton website, it's also going to be $35, but they charge an extra $10 for delivery. Same thing with the rest of it. Shifter cable. Every couple of years, I get a new chain. I get a new sprocket. I am working with only a hub gear set in the rear, so I have only a single sprocket. It's very cost efficient and easy to maintain. And the labor, the whole thing was done in a little over half an hour. He charged me $50, which I think is entirely reasonable. So if I did this whole thing, if I bought this on the internet, all of this stuff, I would have ended up paying more because I would have had to pay shipping and probably sales taxes as well. So the extra money I'm paying here is maybe an extra $20 because I have to pay for labor. I didn't have to pay for shipping because I went to the store, if you want to call it a store. It's not even officially a storefront. This B-fold sign is off. It's no longer there. So I do recommend B-fold if you are serious, if you want more than just, want a quick bike and maintain it as it is. If you want any kind of tuning, upgrade, improvements, anything like that. Now, in addition, if you buy from him now, he's going to give you some free tune-ups and service for a time. I don't remember how much, maybe for a year or something like that. So you immediately get a lot more care. And that is true of my electric kit as well. Grin does this as well. The people from whom I bought my battery, I contacted them after 7 years because the battery is beginning to give up the ghost, and they give me all the advice, all the help I need. Same thing with Grin. I bought my kit in 2017. They are still offering customer service now. So this is what the smaller shop can give you. They don't have 10,000 frames on the wall that they can sell you right away. So it's kind of a slower process, but it's totally worth it. Once you're in the system, once you have a dealer that like this, who is an excellent person, never tried to rip me off, never scratched up the frame, I think it's all worth it. But then there's always going to be people who just want immediate gratification. You walk into the junction and there it is. It's just like a car dealer when you go in there and you drive out in a new car. They may not have the best service. You may be terribly frustrated down the road, but you get that instant gratification right away. You walk in, they have hundreds of frames to choose from, everything you can imagine, and they have it right there. But the heart of a dealership is really the repair, because otherwise you could just buy this stuff offline. You can buy anything offline. You can get a Moulton, whatever. But what if you run into trouble with a Moulton? Unless you're really an expert, if you're not new to this game. And I have owned these bikes for probably a couple of decades by now. So I could actually do a lot of these upgrades myself. If I really wanted to do this, I probably could have done it. But it would have taken me a whole weekend to figure it out. I would be covered in oil. I don't have an easel at home. So it's just, I couldn't be bothered. I'd rather pay an extra $20 or $30 and have a professional do it. And I do it either every year, or if I don't ride frequently, every other year. So once again, I'm going to put a link below. And I do recommend it if you are looking for a new bike. Now, if you already bought the bike from the Brompton junction or offline or whatever, then it's going to be harder to convince David to work on your bike because he did not make a profit on the sale. He's basically picking up the pieces from the mistake you have made because you didn't do your research and you rushed and you wanted to have it right away. So it's still worth it to call him up, even if you didn't buy the frame from him. See if he can work on your problem. That's all I wanted to say. And
I'll be back.